Hello, friends, and welcome to the Bought the T-Shirt podcast. I'm just going to read you something here. This is the blurb from a book. Is the life you are running the one you really want, or would you be ready to change it if only you were not afraid? Max Calderan is the king of the desert. At 40, he has already crossed the most insidious and impractical deserts of the world, surviving in extreme conditions. Without medical assistance and in complete loneliness, carrying a backpack with only the strictly necessary. This explorer has overcome every known limit, beginning with the first one that every day prevents us from truly being free. Fear, the belief that we cannot do it, that we are powerless. The force within is much more, that's the book, is much more than the testimony of a man who crosses deserts, pushing his body beyond its limits. It is a journey into our consciousness and our faith, through our conditionings and daily enslavements, searching for inner strength, because each of us, each day of our life, has his destiny to face. So the reason I'm reading that out, friends, is Max, when I read that, it was like I was reading my own philosophy. Does that make sense?
Yes, sure, it makes sense, dear Chris, because if I go through your biography and what I know about you, I think that people like us, they have the same energy, the same willing to do something different in this life. So yes, it's true.
Yes, I mean, I was reading stuff on the websites, and it basically, Max, you live my dream life. If that makes sense. So can you tell our listeners and our viewers just a little bit, how did you get into running across deserts?
I think that every one of us has his own dream when he's a child, and who wants to become a pilot, who wants to become a doctor, or anything else. I mean, in the archaeological sector, my dream was to become an explorer. I wanted from when I was 7 years old, because I was reading an encyclopedia that my mother bought to me in a cinema. And this encyclopedia in 1974, I was 7 years old. There was a page, 2 or 3 pages, they were talking about the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But I was a child, I was living in Italy, near Venice. I didn't know nothing about the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But I remember that there was a picture with some camels and one Bedu that were crossing the borders of the empty quarter desert, the Rub al Khali. And it was written that the camels were scared to go inside, and the migratory birds, they were taking a diversion of this desert that was longer than 1,000 kilometers and largest more than or 650 kilometers. So I went to my mother with the picture, and I told to my mother, "Hey, Mom, when I will be an old man, I will be the first man that will explore and that will enter in the empty water desert." And after 46 years, the dream came true.
Wow. So for our subscribers, Max has just run across the empty quarter. It's a part of Saudi Arabia that is so barren that, as Max said, nobody enters it. I think, was there a British explorer many years ago tried to cross it with camels? Was he called Thesiger? Or
Yes, you is right, but it's not properly correct. First of all, we need to consider that in that time it was nearly 30s or 40s. They didn't have satellite phone, cars, and so on. They did the explorations in the empty quarter. Tessinger, he did a circle, but nowadays I can say that they were mostly close to the east border, west border, north and south, but nothing in the middle. Nothing in the middle. Philby was another explorer going from north to south, having a small exploration coming from the north to south. But what I did is something that I was not in the footsteps of someone else. I opened a new line that now is named the Calderan line, that is going right in the middle of the empty quarter from west to east. So 1,100 kilometers, more or less. We are waiting the final the final tracking from satellite THRALL company, and was right in the middle. Is the first ever crossing on foot of the empty quarter. I mean, the first ever exploration ever done in the empty quarter, right in the middle. So no doubt. So it's an historical achievement. My dream, I mean.
Well, massive congratulations. Max, can I just say that something is touching your phone? I can hear.
Yes, sure. Maybe because I'm talking.
Yeah,
I can keep it this way. Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
People will get upset with me.
Oh, yes, of course. Of course.
Yes, massive congratulations. I'm just in awe of your achievement. We should say thank you now to Ian, who was part of your crew. Is that correct?
I can say that this exploration was possible for many reasons, but a few reasons. Main reason because I had a dream, I had my preparation, I had already several records, blah 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 blah. But if in my life in 2016 I was with Ian Huggins.
Yes.
In the Tropic of Cancer. He was following me. I knew him in 2016. If Ian was not on board as team leader expedition in the crossing of the empty quarter, I will be now here with you chatting and talking about my exploration. Because the final decision to go into the Rub al Khali, the empty quarter, I said yes, only and exclusively because Ian Huggins, that we were friends, now we are brothers, because after the empty quarter exploration, we became brothers. Yeah. If he was not on board, my willing with the production of the documentary, with the record, with the exploration was no. But because of Ian, my final words were yes. That's it.
Brilliant, Max. So Ian is also my brother because we're both Marines, and Ian also supports me on my Patreon team. He's a very kind man. My Patreons, they pay me £2 a month just to help me pay for all my equipment. So thank you, Ian. I just wanted to give you a mention. Can you tell us, I've watched your videos, Max. You seem so fit. You have the perfect physique. I mean, your mind is obviously in the right place. Shall we start? Can you talk about diet?
It's very easy. I mean, first of all, we have to consider that in my life, I tried a lot of things also before that was internet, before YouTube, before any kind of social, social opinions, in the social network. So I tried first on my skin and on my body. After that, I was lucky because after the university, I am a doctor in sports science. I started to work with a pharmaceutical company. So I started to know everything about drugs, medicine, and so on. After that, 15 years ago, I decided to stop my career as a manager in pharmaceutical company, and I opened my own small laboratory of genetic that now is providing genetic test, gut microbiome, so gut flora analysis, and hormonal analysis. It's very high level of analysis. So starting from that point, I selected a very 100% personalized food, supplementation, and also lifestyle. That was already more or less was what doing, but it gave me the final boost in order to get the best preparation ever in terms of diet and nutrition, because I consider myself also always, I'm not average. I am unique, but also you, Chris, you are unique. You know, Ian is unique. Each of us has his own, and he must pretend the best for himself, 100% personalized. There are some common points, but I can say during the exploration, from diet point of view, I was perfect. With my very low carbs, it could be 20% of the total amount of calories. Vegetables, vegetable protein, also beef, but everything was, I can say, 90% organic. The nutrition plan was divided in several small consumption of calories, but continually through the day. But it was not the first time. It's something that I was preparing in the last at least 10 years. So it was very perfect. I mean, I was lucky, but perfect.
And do you run for training, Max, or do you run very often?
No, no, because in the previous exploration, you have to consider, for instance, in desert with stones, rocks, and so on, I'm able to cover also in every 24 hours, 160 kilometers per day for 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Day and night with small naps of 5 minutes every 3, 4 hours. Empty quarter was totally different. So I was mostly up to 18 hours per day on my legs. Sometimes 5, sometimes 3, sometimes 2 hours sleeping per day. It depends from the weather condition, if I was tired or not. And in the empty quarter, you have to walk. It's impossible to run for a simple reason: the quality of the sand, soft sands, hard sands, wind, weather condition. During the night, you cannot run because it's quite impossible, and you need to I can say to keep always with you as much as possible energy, because during an exploration you start with a question mark, and the question mark is first goal to come out alive. So this question mark will be with you during the exploration, and you cannot make one single mistake, because empty quarter, particularly empty quarter, if you want, it can kill you in 5 minutes. So that's it.
Did you not worry that if you couldn't get back to your transport, your team, that's it, that you're going to die? I mean, it must have been a concern, or did you just plan for that very well?
Yes, I was the best prepared on this side, because virtually every 18 kilometers on the map before starting, we fixed one waypoint. What is the meaning? It's virtual. We didn't know if we were able to arrive on this waypoint. But in any case, we were lucky, because for the terrain condition, I can say I was always finding, or me, I was arriving before or later, but or me or Ian with his team, they were capable to arrive in that waypoint. But what's happened? During the sandstorm in the evening, they were not able to arrive in that waypoint. During the morning, because I was walking during the night, they were not in that waypoint. So, I mean, it's always, I can say, we were lucky from the beginning, because with bad weather condition, it could be that was needing to stay alone for up to 200 kilometers, maybe, with my water and my food, but I was prepared for that. I can stay with all my water and food without meet anyone up to 250, 300 kilometers. So I had a good and huge safe area. I mean, I don't know how to describe in English.
But we should mention that you have run long distances with no food and no water.
Yeah, sure. Because I was preparing for the empty quarter. For instance, one of my best training now in summer is to cover every 2 weeks in summer in United Arab Emirates in the desert, 100 kilometers in less than 24 hours without eating, without drinking, without sleeping. So can you imagine 60 degrees temperature? The sun is running up to 76, 78 degrees temperature. So this is now a best training. In Tropic of Cancer on Oman, I was not sleeping at all for almost 100 hours, just 5 minutes naps every 3-4 hours, but I was covering 437 kilometers in 90 hours. I mean, but it was part of a training. Any kind of previous record was only to prepare myself in the best way for crossing the empty water.
Wow. Out of you have, I think now, 11 world records, including...
I can say, I mean, there were 11 I mean, the truth that there were 13 because there are other small records, yes. But, you know, I can say records, and the meaning is that nobody did it before, and nobody, as for my knowledge, was capable to repeat it again, such as, I can say, the first time that I was capable to run 100 kilometers in summer, August, in the middle of the sand, without drinking, without sleeping, without eating, was a record. But now it's a training. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so I don't know how to define it. I mean,
which one was the most difficult for you? Which was the most challenging?
The most challenging is now that I'm coming back at home. No, now that I'm coming back at home. I have 3 children, another one is arriving, so this will be the toughest exploration that I have to do now. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, but of course the empty quarter. Yes, of course the empty quarter.
Can you describe why do we love the desert? Why is it so beautiful for people like you and I?
I think, you know, that people like us, I mean, and this us, I include all the explorers, but also people that are always, I can say, on action, trying to do something different in every day. Ian is one of these guys, for instance. I think that for me, I don't know how to describe in English, but is the fact that I'm always curious. I always want to know something that is unknown. I want to understand why something nobody did before because of many reasons. But the curiosity, the fact to be curious is something that at least for me, keep me alive. I live my daily life as 100%. We should live our life.
Yeah.
Once you stop to be curious, everything for me could stop now. If I'm not anymore curious, okay, it's better that I die now. Well, I don't know if I'm able to transfer this concept. So, and second, from what you learn and what I learned from my experience, second is the fact I don't know how to say the way of capability to give back, to share the experience, trying to involve as much as possible people, because as for me in this period, historical period, we are on. A lot of people is having a lot of I can say, bad thoughts. There is a lot of conditioning. I don't know how to say in English. I mean, we read the newspaper, magazine, social network, and we are not no more ourselves. We start to think with other people's minds, and blah 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 blah. So it's something like to give a shake. Hey, La, wake up! Hey, look at yourself in the mirror. Look, who is this guy in the mirror? It's no more you. Try to understand the child that it was you. His dream are still alive. You can do something even if you are 70 years old. I mean, you know. So this is more or less what is giving me the boost.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I mean, I so completely understand where you're coming from. I try to get this across to my audience. I will always keep trying. I don't know if it's always possible to get everybody to understand this kind of. I don't know if it's something. I don't know where we get it from, you know. I won't pretend that I understand. But let's talk about the desert. Can you give us an idea of how was your day from the morning to the night? How was the weather, this kind of thing, the heat?
I can say the weather condition were it was a range, a difference of temperature from 2.5 degrees up to 35 degrees Celsius. So it's a very huge range. I started from almost 800 meters elevation, so it was very cold. My day was mostly 1:30 wake up. At 2 a.m. Started to walking, and every 4 hours, 3 hours and a half, 4 hours and a half, there was a stop in the waypoint, and this was going on all the day until 7, 8, 9 p.m. It depends from weather condition and so on. I faced a sandstorm. Then there was, I can say, the biggest difficulties were in the last 200 kilometers. That's for sure, because you have to know that the troop for the documentary, they decide to go out from this section of desert were too difficult, was too risky. And so in the last 200 kilometers was something like a nightmare, because the sand dunes were higher than 300 meters. They were endless. I wasn't able to understand from which part I could start to climb such kind of dunes. I was facing literally the hell. I mean, and I can say that I was not sure 100% to, in some point, to, I mean, not only to survive, but I was saying to myself more than one time, okay, now I stop here. I don't care anymore about nothing else. I stop here, stop, finish, stop. So, but this is more or less. So they were 16 days or 17, I don't remember also, but were very, very tough. As for me, my feeling, my perception, now that I'm here in my house, was not 1,100 kilometers, was not 16, 17 days voltages, were just 5 minutes starting point, and finally, when I arrived to a fence with the protected area, this is more or less what I remember very clear, starting point and end. I will need more days, more weeks to understand.
My gosh, it's funny. I think we have something in common. We've both run around Petra in Jordan. I saw your picture.
Yes, in Petra, I was mostly for training, you know, because I was traveling a lot in Middle East.
Yeah.
And yes, also because Middle East is it's a passion. I mean, I don't know why, but it's a passion. So, but I can say that as for me, it doesn't matter what you do, what I do, what other people is doing, because what I did is something that was important 100% for me. I mean, and I know, of course, it's historical, it's blah, 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 but at the end of the story was important for me. But any one of us has something that is important and has the same value, I mean, has the same value, has the same meaning of my exploration. I can say, if someone is in the wheelchair and is going for the first time to stand up by himself with the force of his legs, has the same value and also better than my exploration, because he achieved a very great goal that was important for him. I don't know how to say. I hope to have the capability to transfer this concept. I mean, so the most important thing is to never give up. I was saying to myself, if I have to die on action, not waiting.
Yeah.
You know? So I know that you understand very well this point. Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah, Max, does it help? You live in Dubai, right?
Yes, I said between Dubai and Italy, because I'm always traveling.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, Dubai looks an amazing country. Does that help you for your training and this kind of thing?
Dubai, I can say that was helping me, not properly for the training, but what I can say for the environment related with the people living. Because if there is something that, if you have a dream, it is easier in Dubai to find someone that could be part of your dream. Look at Ian, for instance. If I was not living in Dubai, it was impossible to know someone else in Italy, you know, with the same capability and willing and passion of Ian. And so also many other people. I mean, thinking about Servi Palmans, that is in Dubai. He was the I can say, our headquarter in Dubai for any kind of communication operation. I mean, or Wayne, or Adam, or Mikey, or Will, all the people that were parting of this exploration, they were all in Dubai. So in this case, yes, Dubai is a good place for trying to realize such kind of dream, at least.
It looks an amazing place. Amazing. Max, how much water and food were you taking for each leg?
It depends, because during the night one bottle was enough. 1.5 liters was enough for also, we can say, 36 kilometers. I mean, it was also more, 36, 46, also for 50 kilometers. But during the day, I prefer to drink as much as possible, because the goal was to complete the exploration, not to do a record without drinking. So during the day, that was starting to become very hot, because we're 35 degrees, but the feeling was 42, 45. Also, 1 bottle, 1.5 liters every 20 kilometers also sometimes. So I didn't do the right calculation right now.
And did you see any life there?
No, just one wolf, small animals, but nothing else. I suppose was different, but it's really empty.
I got some fitness questions for you, Max, just to give our audience an idea, because I think you're 2 years older than me. I'm 50 now. Is that correct?
Yes.
52, yeah.
52, yes.
Are you like me? Do you still feel I still feel 18, you know? I've got some injuries, but this is the life, right?
Yes, I can say from when I was very, very young, I did a lot of sports. Also now I have just 1-2 weeks of rest, but then my daily routine is always the same from, I don't know, from when I was at school. Wake up early in the morning, usually 4 a.m., then a small workout, a small running, cold shower, Italian coffee, of course. And then if I wake up at 6 a.m., for me, I already lost all my day. If I wake up at 6, for instance, I say, wow, what's happened? 6? What I can do today? Or the day is already gone. I cannot do nothing, something like that. So see, the body is, for me, is a priority, because also our minds, we have a mind because there is a body. So I choose several years ago to start from the body. That's it.
Do you have any technique for managing stress? Because this seems to be, stress and anxiety seem to be a huge problem now for many people. I know it's a combination of diet and fitness and mental state, but do you have any one technique you could give people?
No, I never had the meditation. I never had the training for mind, nothing. Because I came from extreme climbing, extreme skiing, so it was natural. When your life is at risk, you don't need a specific training, but it's important to have training for stress in ordinary life. I mean, or in very risky situation, like a war situation, like special forces, blah blah blah, because it's totally different. As for me, in sports and exploration, I never had a training for the mind, because also because maybe for genetic predisposal, I produce very low level of cortisol, very low, so I can sustain a huge quantity of stress without any kind of side effects. So, but to have the predisposal is nothing if you don't train yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. The only predisposal is not giving you the capability to cross the empty quarter. You need to train.
Yeah. And so, for you to run 10K, Max, how long would that take you?
When I was younger in university, I had 32 minutes per 0.46, 47. I don't remember seconds. When I was in university, that was not my distance. After that, I immediately changed and I started to run longer distance. But no competition, 3-4 competition. That's it. No.
Okay.
I prefer the nature instead of the number on my chest during a competition, but it was only for passion.
Yeah, I just find I'm always saying to people, just you have to enjoy your exercise. You have to enjoy your running. And
exactly.
I try to get this philosophy, and I mean, I ran on the machine this morning. I hate the machine, but sometimes it's just convenient, right? It was 8.5 minutes for 1 mile. So I don't know what that is in kilometers. Yeah. But that's unusual for me. I can be happy running 12 minutes a mile. I just think it's important to get out there and do something, right?
Yes, it's important to do something. Then doesn't matter. Numbers are numbers. I mean, if you enjoy yourself, your time, simply walking or running, the most important for me is to do something in the nature as much as possible. This is for me the key factor of to feel ourselves in the best way. That's it.
Do you sauna often, Max?
Sorry again.
Do you sauna?
No, I don't like. I'm really basic, nature. That's it. I don't need, I don't care, I don't want, I don't like music while I'm running, to make sauna, to make meditation, to make, for me, just nature. That's it. For me, it's enough. For me, I mean, at least for me, it's enough.
Brilliant.
And the most important thing, select and choose the right people that is surrounding you. I mean, having also the capability to say no to some other people that wants to interfering with your life. That's it.
Yeah. I have a friend. he says, what he says, love everybody, respect a few, but always paddle your own canoe. Something like this.
Yeah, sure. I agree.
Just one technical question. How did you navigate? Did you have a GPS in the desert?
I was navigating with the GPS, but mostly was a switch off, because once you see something in front of you, then you keep on the same direction. During the night, stellar. Just the first 1 kilometers with the GPS, then totally switch off, and after 3 hours and a half was switch on again. Stellar navigation is always the best.
So the stars, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah,
sure.
Amazing. And in Arabia, they nickname you Al-Mahdi. Is this correct?
Yeah, sure. Yes. Is the meaning is to be that someone is giving you the right way where to go. Someone very bigger than me is giving the right way where to go, and has been given to me by Bedu in the desert. Yes, in Sinai desert. Yes.
Wow, amazing. And what has been the greatest moment in your adventures? I know all of it is great, but can you think of one example?
But this seems that it's not related with me, but with the people that I met in the desert, because I meet in the desert, because mostly was related with the meeting of some Bedouins living in the desert. Because when I saw newspaper, magazine, politics, blah, 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 talking about the Middle East, Arab world, Sea world, and so on, and then you are with such kind of people in the desert that they don't know. They don't have borders. They don't have politics. They don't have. they only open the door of their home. We can say home, house. It's totally different. Everything is changing. So these are always epic moments, because you understand that everything is a big bullshit here. So that's it.
Yeah. Once you understand everything in life is a lie, then it becomes much easier. You get your freedom. I watched Bedouin in Pakistan filling up these goat skins with water. It was amazing. No buckets, no cans, just these goat skins, and they still had the legs on the skin, so the legs filled up with water. I mean, like you say, the difference between us is enormous, just enormous. The way we live our lives, and So I'm conscious of the time, Max. I know you must be an incredibly busy man. What is the next? Are you going to write a book about this challenge?
Yes. We will write a book about the Calderan line, where it's not only a book related with my exploration, but how something could be successful if you have good people around you, good team having the same vision. This is the main point, because by yourself alone, nothing will be useful. I mean, it's only egoistic approach. When you do something with a team, with good people, it's totally different. And more and more good people together could give more and more a better world. So for sure there is a book. Now we will start to think how to do in the best way, but it's already on the process. So yes, sure.
Good. Are you going to have them in English? Because I notice
Of course, it is in English. It will be first in English now. This time first in English, and after that in Italian.
Yeah, good. Max, I always finish by asking my guests 3 questions.
Yes.
3 more questions.
Yes.
And they are: which film is your biggest inspiration? Which book and which person? So film or movie, book, and person.
As for the movie, I can tell you now immediately. Maybe you will be laughing. I mean, because it was Conan the Barbarian. Because with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because I was alone in a cinema in Italy. I was maybe 14, 15 years older. I was alone because I don't know who my father is. So I was alone in this cinema. And I was alone because of my friends. They liked to go to disco, drinking, and I was training. And at a certain point in the movie, Conan, the Barbarian, was young. It was something like a slave in a circle, pushing a big wood with a big stone, was having a lot of effort, but he was a slave, no? But this was his lucky. He was lucky because he became stronger with big muscle, very strong. He was fighting against the bad people, the hell, the devil. And watching this movie, I told myself, I am like him. I mean, I'm alone while other people is having funny time. So this is my movie.
Okay.
Then the book. The book is related with my study in the school. It was about the Emperor Julius Caesar, that Roman Julius Caesar, because I was reading in Latin language, you know, I was younger. And I get a lot of inspiration. I want to separate the bad things that he did from the good one, because of course it was an emperor, he was killing other people, blah, blah, blah. But the way he was thinking, the way he was capable to create a big empire only because he followed right procedure, right vision in that time. I mean, it was very inspirational for me as a book, and related with Julius Caesar's life. And the last question that you told me was
the person. Which person?
The person. This is a very good question, because I don't have really a real a person that was real with a body.
It can be fiction. I would probably say Tarzan.
Yes, and this was related with I can say imaginary. I mean, when I was when I was child, I wanted to be for a period or Superman, I mean, or other people, but were only and exclusively people or actors, something like also the John Wayne, I mean, or any kind of people that were fighting to I can say to kill in the meaning of the killing. I mean, not only physically. I mean, all the bad people that were fighting against the hell, against the devil, against the bad things in the world. I mean, these, all of them. I mean, but no one specific one guy. That's it.
What do you? I can't let you go without asking. What is your kind of life view on of spirituality, the universe, religion? This, I'm guessing you're a child of the universe.
You know, as an explorer, I will tell you something that a sentence that not belongs to me, belongs to Italian, very big explorer that was related with the Venice Republic, and this Marco Polo. Marco Polo was a big explorer, was something like all in the Far East, from Venice. He explored a lot of things. I want to end this marvelous conversation with his sentences. He was saying, I will say and I will tell only the 50% of what I saw on my exploration, because if I will start to say the remaining 50%, that is including also spirituality, universe, energy, and so on, the second part, the remaining 50%, nobody will believe me, and they will start to think that I am crazy. So that's it.
Well, Max, I'm going to put your links for your website and your Twitter and this.
Feel free to do anything that you want, dear, and I hope to meet you in person. Really.
If maybe we could go running sometime or do some adventure, it'd be a dream come true for me.
Yeah, yes, also for me. Really, it would be fantastic also for me. What I say, thank you for your time, and I hope to have this opportunity to meet you in person, and keep in touch. That's it. Okay.
Yes. Max, thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. Love to your family. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Friend, thank you for watching my video. I'm the only person I know that has ticked every item off my bucket list, and I did so coming back from chronic addiction with no help from anybody. Now I want to pass those skills on to you, but I can't help you unless you help me and hit the subscribe button. So please do so, and let's go and smash this world together.